Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3. Today we are going to explain about literature review. My name is Riri Yang Nainong. My partner they are Patwalija, Syairani Putri, Kori Windana Sution, and Putri Khairani Yusra. For the first slide will be explained by Syairani Putri.
So, what is the definition of a literature review? According to Cooper and Carswell, a literature review serves numerous purposes, including informing the reader of the findings of early studies that are closely connected to the research being undertaken at the moment, connecting the research to exciting literature, and filling in gaps in prior studies. Next, what is the purpose of a literature review? The goal of a literature review is to develop a theoretical foundation for tackling the topic under investigations. The draft theory is the first step toward research, better understanding the subject under investigations in accordance with the scientific framework or thought. Another goal of this literature review is to acquire a sense of what has been done previously. Next, the step in the literature review. In making a literature review, the steps that must be taken are: number one is problem formulations. The author chooses an appropriate and interesting topic. In addition, the issues raised must be written completely and accurately. Number two is searching literature. The literature sought must be relevant to this research, so it helps us to get an overview of a research topic. This research source will be very helpful if they are supported by knowledge about the topic to be studied, because this source will provide various kind of the description of summaries of several previous studies. Number three, data evaluation. Looking at the exciting literature, what are the contributions to the topic discussed? The author must seek and find data sources that match the research needs. Data can be qualitative data, quantitative data, or a combination of both. And finally, number four is about analyze and interpret, discuss, and summarize the exciting literature. And D, how to do literature review technique. To review the literature, we can do it in several ways, including A, looking for similarities or compare, B, looking for inequality or contrast, C, giving views or criticize, D, comparing or synthesis, and E, summarized.
Okay, I will explain about how to cite or paraphrase literature review. The first, we can use direct quotations. There are several reasons why we use direct quotations in citing literature review. That is, we want to provide a precise definition, theory, law, certain principle, say something about the author's language or style, provide evidence to support an argument, and so on. As for how to cite a literature review with direct quotation is, the first, if the quote is less than 40 words or no more than 4 lines, insert the quote into the paragraph of our writing and it is enclosed by 2 double quotes. Look at the example. And the second is, if the quote is 40 words or more, then write it in a separate block of text or indented paragraph with a margin of 1,2 centimeters. Write it without question marks. You can see the example of it. And the third is, when you have finished in quoting, write down the author's last name, year of publication, and the page number where the quote was taken. You can write it at the beginning or at the end of the quote. Next, you can use indirect quotations or paraphrase to cite literature review. If you use indirect quote, it means that you have to paraphrase. Paraphrase is restating a concept in another way without changing its meaning. We can paraphrase using sentence structure techniques, namely active to passive, changing word forms, changing word order in sentence, changing words with synonyms, and other techniques. The method is the first, Read the passage we are about to quote several times to fully understanding its meaning. The second, note down the key concepts that are the focus of the section we are going to paraphrase. The third is rewrite the part that has been read with our sentence without seeing the original writing. The fourth, compare the paraphrase text that we have made with original text. Adjust if there are still too similar. And the last, citing source or citations, using the author's name, year of publication, or page number.
Okay, now I will explain about the application that can help make a literature review are Medley, Zotero, OneResearch.id, Livy.go.id, ResearchGate.net, Google Scholar, and the last is Genesis Library. And this is about the relationship between Google Scholar, Rabbit Research, and other applications and websites that have been mentioned with the literature review is to make it easier for research or scientific paper writers to find some reference and other citations that support the research sentence. And this website is very helpful for research writing. If there are errors, they can be minimized directly by websites. And these websites can automatically save reference, source, or bibliography.
I will explain about thesis analysis. So in the thesis entitled Application of the Debate Method in Improving Speaking Skills of Students in Class 5 of State Elementary School Paikanang 2, Makassar City. And in this thesis, the author takes the data from a list of reference for all types of reference that have been taken, such as books, citing from journals, articles, as well as from dissertation, thesis, and etc. And also the author describes variables or explains several types of variables in general of his writing. So for the second thesis analysis, in the thesis entitled Analysis of the Role of Parents in Accompanying Children in COVID-19 Pandemic, in this thesis, the author takes the data from reference that have been taken, such as books, quotes from journals, articles, or from dissertation, thesis, hands-out laboratory manuals, or quotes from other scientific works, which are then collected in writing in this thesis. And the author seems to use the scientific works of previous related research as his reference. This is evidence from the bibliography in this thesis. Title is on average almost as the same as the title of the thesis that the author wrote.
The conclusion from our group is, the purpose of making literature review is to get theoretical basis that can support solving the problem we are researching. We can choose any application or web that can help us in making literature review such as Google Scholar, ResearchRabbit, and others. It is from the application or web that we will quote theories or opinions of experts which we will use as literature review in our research. With the literature review that has been quoted, a written work will be more reliable because the source of data is clear. In citing a theory of expert opinion, a writer must be able to distinguish between writing quotes, whether using direct quotation or indirect quotation. If using direct quotation, the author may not change or add to the theories or opinions of the expert. However, if the author uses an indirect quotation, then the author must first expect the theory or opinion of the expert so that it is not said to be plagiarism.
So guys, that's all about our presentation for today. Thanks for your attention. Good morning.